So time being 2:01, I will call the meeting of the JTPG to order. Second on the agenda, we have, oh, I'm sorry. Can we do roll call, please? Andrea?
Yep, Acushnet,
Here.
Attleboro. Berkeley,
Here.
Harvard. Dartmouth. Dayton. Fairhaven.
Here.
I'm sorry, Dayton is here. I apologize. I couldn't unmute in time.
Fall River,
Here.
Freetown. Lakeville. Mansfield. Marion.
Here.
Mattapoisett.
Here.
Middleborough. New Bedford.
Here.
North Attleboro.
Here.
Norton. Plainville. Right. Rehoboth. Rochester. Seacon.
Here.
That was a very short list. Somerset. Swansea.
Here.
Thank you. Taunton.
Here. Present.
Wareham. Westport.
Here.
And at large for Attleboro.
Present.
At large commissioner for Fall River. At large commissioner for New Bedford.
Alan here.
Ashley here.
Thank you, thank you. And at large commissioner for Taunton.
Here.
Thank you very much.
Rainham's here too. I didn't hear it called. I apologize.
Thank you. All set.
Thank you. We can move to item number 2, approval of minutes. If there are no comments on the minutes, I would entertain a motion to approve the October 8th, 2025 meeting minutes as submitted.
So moved, Alan. No second.
Perfect. Roll call, please.
Acushnet,
Yes.
Berkeley,
Yes.
Dayton,
Yes.
Fairhaven,
Yes.
Fall River,
Yes.
Marion,
Marion is there too.
Marion, yep. Mattapoisett,
Yes.
New Bedford,
Yes.
North Attleboro,
Yes.
Raymond,
Yes.
Seekonk.
Abstain, not present.
Thank you. Swansea.
Abstain, not present.
Thank you. Taunton.
Yes.
Westport.
Yes.
At large for Attleboro.
Yes.
At large for New Bedford, Alan.
Yes.
At large for New Bedford, Ashley.
Abstain.
And at large for Taunton.
Yes.
Thank you. And was there anyone who I missed? Dartmouth? Being in late?
Freetown abstain, not present.
Thank you, Nancy. Okay, we should be good to go. Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 3, we have public comments. This is an opportunity for the public to address the JTPG. Is there anyone online that would like to address the JTPG or in person?
Nope.
Okay, seeing and hearing none, we can move on to item number 4, the Regional Transit Authority reports. Do we have anyone on from our RTAs to give any updates?
everyone. I'm here, Christina Mendoza, Director of Transit Planning with SRTA. We just have a few quick updates. Our ridership in the region continues to increase. We started our fiscal year 25 ridership report that we are turning into more of an annual report format. That's going to summarize our key milestones over the past year, in addition to key statistics on ridership. We're also working on updating our performance metrics right now, and those will be featured in the new annual report. Those are the only updates I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Christina? Okay, hearing none. Thank you so much for the update. Do we have anyone else on from our RTAs to give an update?
I don't see anyone, Victoria.
All right, thank you. Alrighty, so we can move to item number 5, the community of practice discussion. This is our monthly item that we have to give an opportunity for our members to share any questions, project updates, challenges, success stories, and lessons learned. Is there anyone who would like to share?
Alan, New Bedford at Large. We have Bill Scully and our town planner finally going to use smart streets to see if we can get that turnabout on Depot and Onset and Great Neck Road, which would also allow us to move forward with the minded Ave bike path. That's it.
Awesome, thank you so much, Alan. I see, Will, you have your hand raised?
Yeah, this was just a request for an update if someone is able to speak to it on the project 614233, the safety project on Pope's Island.
I will defer to SRPEDD's transportation. I'm not sure if we were prepared to speak to that today. Do we have anyone that can talk about that?
Is there anyone from MassDOT on?
Yeah, I believe we have someone from MassDOT on the call. Just real quick, I know Barbara's with us. Barbara, I'm not sure if you can give us an update at this time, or if it makes more sense when you give us an update on all the projects.
I don't have an update on that. I believe that's the project that was just initiated. I'm not sure how far along we've gotten with that yet. It may not have been scoped yet. If it's the project I'm thinking of, it's the right on the bridge project you're thinking of.
That's it.
Yeah, I don't have an update on that because it's still very new. So I'm thinking that they're moving forward. I know we have a PM assigned to it. Program management is involved with it, so I can see if I can get more information and forward it along to Lisa and Jackie for that one.
That'd be great. Thanks, Barbara.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that has anything they'd like to share? Any updates, any questions? Okay. Jeff? Jeff, did you have something you wanted to add?
Oh, I'm sorry, Victoria. Nope.
No,
nothing.
it's okay. I'm sorry. I thought I heard something. Okay, just making sure.
No worries.
Okay. So if there's nothing else, we can move to item number 6, the FFY 2027 to 2031 Transportation Improvement Program Development Update. And Jackie is here to give us an update on this one.
Thank you. So just one moment. We're switching over screens over here. So we are bringing our so the TIP is really a full year process. It starts in October, it runs through September of the next year. So we are currently in the fiscal year 2026 to 2030 TIP. But in order to have developed this TIP, we have to start almost a full year before. So what we're talking about today is not the current tip that's out, it's the development tip, which will be the FY 2027 to 2031 tip. So right now, we're in what we consider kind of the beginning phases, although really the steps on this we do kind of all year round. It's mostly information collecting from different sources. We also, this is when new projects are generally identified through the project review committee or communities. And then we, as we're doing today, we hold presentations for new projects under consideration for funding. That typically runs from October to January. And that's kind of, and we're also during this time passing along information to you, and we're open for public input on anything that communities consider priority. And then after this data collection phase, we use all that information that we collected to start using our evaluation criteria process, which basically assigns points to a project based on how it's meeting the regional priorities that's been outlined by our SMMPO. And then those are turned into scores, which is kind of how we evaluate projects against each other. So again, it's relating it to the goals of the MPO, but it is a data-driven process. We try our best to take anything that's subjective out of it and keep it mostly about the numbers, who it's serving, what the project is doing, things like that. And we will have a presentation on that probably in January or February. But that process is very involved. And then once we have used that to make a ranking, and we take that, combine it with all the information that we received, and then we go to something called Project Readiness Days in February, which is where we meet with MassDOT and they give us an assessment of the status of all of the projects and whether or not they think that those projects are going to be ready for the years that they are programmed or supposed to be ready for. And then we take all that information back to the JTPG and the MPO so that you are informed. And then that information and that like all the evaluation criteria is used to develop scenarios. So we like to give you options on what you fund. As the JTPG, your responsibility is to select from usually about 3 scenarios, which have different combinations of projects. We'll usually make a couple scenarios that are, how can we make the rankings of the projects really matter? Like how can we prioritize the projects that meet the most need? And then we'll also do one that's how can you maximize the funding? How can you get the most projects through? That's kind of what goes into those scenarios. And those also go out for public input as well through the JTPG, which is really one of our more public facing bodies. And then you, as this body, you select the scenario or you recommend one of those scenarios, and then we bring that scenario to the MPO, and then they vote to either endorse the scenario or they sometimes will look at other scenarios too. But and then once it goes through that process, there's a little bit of a shuffle because costs will come out, like final costs will get locked, and then we'll use that information to try to stick as close to the scenario that's selected as possible. Then that scenario goes out to the public in April for about a month. We incorporate any feedback, municipal and state feedback, and then the tip is endorsed in May. And then once it's endorsed in May, it gets incorporated into the state transportation improvement program and goes through a large federal process. But that's all so it can be ready for funding in next October. And this is a long process, but we really just want to emphasize that participation in this from this body is very helpful, and you're really the ones with the power to select the projects here, so we appreciate that. And then I just wanted to kind of go over, Andre at the last meeting presented the public participation plan, and she also had this very nice slide that I borrowed that talks about all the different ways that the public and this body interact with the tip. And I thought it would be good to highlight a couple of those things, especially, I talked about it a little bit already. I kind of jumped the gun on my last slide, but how the public is involved in the JTPG and also how this body reflecting your communities has say. And I'd be happy to answer any questions that anybody has. I'd also like to highlight that the next two presentations are part of this first step that we're in. And they're meant to give you information so that when you are making these choices, you have the information that you need on the progress of the projects that are being considered. Oh. Okay. I'll take that as no questions.
Alrighty, thank you, Jackie. So if there are no questions, we can move to item number 7, presentation on the TIP projects from Taunton. And Jackie will be kicking off both of these as well.
Yep, I just wanted to say that these two projects in Taunton, one of them is currently programmed in that FY 26 to 2030 tip for fiscal year 2030. That's the Winthrop Street Route 44 at Highland Street. And then the other is not currently programmed, but could be consideration for the next upcoming tip cycle. And I believe someone from the city is on to talk about that project.
Yes. Hi, it's Catherine Nunes from the City of Taunton. I'm actually going to introduce, we also have the beta group staff, the engineers that are working to design both projects. But these are two projects that, one in particular, the Winter School Street project, that are a priority for the city. We've had a lot of feedback from the public, a lot of input from public safety over both intersections, and we've been working to fund the design to bring them forward so that we can bring them to life through the tip. So I will turn it over. I don't know if Jared or Matt will be speaking to the Winthrop Street, but they are on the meeting and have a presentation to make. And then I believe Jacqueline will be speaking to the Winter School Street project. So if those that are on are set, I'll hand it over to them and they can bring up their slides and present. Thank you so much.
All right. Can everybody see that? Sorry about that.
We lost.
Stop sharing.
All right. Sorry about that, everybody. Can everybody see that now?
Yep.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, sorry about that. Let me just pull that back up. All right, well, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you to SRPEDD and the JTPG for the opportunity to present a project update on the Winthrop Street and Highland Street intersection improvement project in Taunton. MassDOT project ID 613257. My name is Jared Linares. I'm the project manager from Beta Group, representing the city of Taunton as their design engineer for the project. I just want to start off with a brief project overview. Winthrop Street is Route 40, also known as Route 44. It extends in an east-west alignment, and it runs from, it's approximately 1.3 miles southeast of the Taunton Center, or downtown Taunton and the Taunton Green. The land use in the area is a mix of urban, residential, both residential single families, multifamilies, and apartment complexes. Highland Street runs in a north-south alignment, and both of these roadways are city jurisdiction. The overall project limits on Winthrop Street are approximately 1,100 feet, and the overall project limits on Highland Street are approximately 320 feet. This intersection was identified as a HSIP cluster for both the 2016 to 2018, as well as the 2017 to 2019 crash clusters. So as a result, we did a roadway safety audit in May of 2024, which was finalized in August of 2024. I just wanted to note that since then, this intersection is no longer noted as an HSIP cluster as part of MassDOT's latest years. The over-the-shoulder deliverables were submitted in January of 2025, and the over-the-shoulder comment resolution meeting was completed in April of 2025. And the submission is expected in the fall of 2026 for the full 2025% submission. The TIP funding for this project is slated for fiscal year 2030 with an estimated construction cost of approximately $3 million. Some of the existing roadway conditions, we'll start with Winthrop Street. We've got photos of both eastbound and westbound shown here. General characteristics, there's 11-foot travel lanes in each direction. As you approach the intersection, there is a dedicated left turn lane in both directions. In the eastbound direction, the length of the turn lane is approximately 180 feet currently, and the westbound is approximately 120 feet. There's a double center yellow line with approximately 2-foot shoulders, and then there's bituminous sidewalk on both sides with a grass strip of varying width between 2 and 4 feet. On Highland Street, we have 13-foot travel lanes with no striped shoulders and a double yellow center line. And there's also bituminous sidewalks on both sides of Highland Street. The existing conditions at the intersection include a signal-controlled 4-legged intersection. There's currently 4 phases to the intersection. There's a designated left turn lane on Winthrop. Then there's a designated pedestrian crossing. There's the designated through lane for both directions on Winthrop Street. And then there's a phase for Highland. There is a historic property located at the southeastern corner of the property. That's shown in the picture at the bottom left there. Historic building. As far as the project scope goes, we will be doing a new traffic signal at the intersection. As far as roadway rehabilitation goes, we anticipate mill and overlay with some full depth widening on Winthrop Street to accommodate the bicycle lanes. So the proposed cross section on Winthrop Street will include a 5-foot bicycle lane on road with a 3-foot striped buffer. And then there'll be 6-foot sidewalks on both sides. Highland Street, there will be no bike accommodations, but we will be providing sidewalk on both sides to match the existing. As I mentioned previously, there's the historic property at 242 Winthrop Street. There's already existing impacts due to the sidewalk and some of the existing utilities on the corner there. So our goal is to minimize the impacts to what they are now, or at a minimum, we'll keep it to just the utility pole relocations that we anticipate. As I noted before, we did the road safety audit in May of 2024. There was sort of 6 key measures that we'll look to mitigate as part of this design. Those include pedestrian and bicycle accommodations, the traffic signal phasing and timing, lane configure and geometry, some of the signage, visibility, roadway obstructions and lighting were an issue, and then speed. So those are the 6 things identified that we will look to mitigate as part of this project. So as far as storm drain improvements, it'll mostly just be a retrofit of the existing system out there due to curb line changes. So we'll retrofit with deep sump catch basins. And then utility relocations, we just anticipate due to the utility poles or some of the traffic signal equipment and the new curb lines. I think that's all it as far as an update. Any questions, concerns? If not, thanks again for the opportunity to present the project update. I'll turn it back over to Catherine.
Thank you, Jared. And now I believe Jackie's on the call. She'll speak to the winter school floral street project.
Yes, hello. All right, everyone see the screen with my slideshow? Or no? Is it the opposite screen?
No,
Jared
there
and
it is.
I today, we're both, let's say, how do I fix the screen now? Okay. I am sharing or no?
No.
I'm not.
You're sharing, but it wasn't the full.
It wasn't. Okay, sorry. Man,
Okay.
Zoom does this to me here. All right, now I'll try again. All right, you see it now?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay,
Good.
great. Thank you. Sorry, I wasn't looking at the thumbs up. That's on a third screen, so I appreciate it. Hi, my name is Jacqueline Centracchio with Beta Group. We're working for the city. I'm the project manager for this Winter Street and School Street improvement, or intersection improvement project. Now, if I could figure out how to switch slides here. Okay, great. Is it switching? Oh, okay. So here's the study area. You see School Street going in northeast, southwest direction, and then Winter Street cuts that with Floral Street as we consider sort of a fifth leg to the intersection because it is about 50 feet offset from School Street, also intersecting Winter Street. So that does play a role in our project. Project status, we're in the pre-25 stage. We did do a road safety audit and some other analysis. At this point, we are waiting for MassDOT's ICE Stage 1 review and approval, and that will help guide us through the rest of the process. We anticipate receiving those comments in a few weeks, and then we're going to be working on concept plans and providing those by winter of 2026, with the over-the-shoulder review meeting estimated in spring of 2026. 25% submission late summer of 2026, and this project will be about 2.5 million at this point. Okay. A little bit about the intersection. School Street and Floral Street are stop controlled approaching Winter Street. There's overhead flashing beacons at the intersection of Winter and School. There are sidewalks on both sides of the streets. There's crosswalks with pretty recently built curb ramps. There is no bicycle accommodation on Floral, School, or Winter, and there are 2 Gatra stops or buses that travel through the area for flag stops. These are the existing roadway conditions. On the left side is a cross-section of School Street facing the northbound direction. As you can see, there's 2 lanes, one in each direction, divided by a double yellow center line. They're 12-foot lanes with no shoulders. Winter Street, and these are nice pictures of the overhead beacons also. Winter Street, 13-foot travel lanes, 1 in each direction with 1 foot marked shoulders. Let's see. For some reason it's tough to switch lanes here. So the intersection is a top 5% high crash cluster from 2019 to 2021, which is our latest information provided by MassDOT. And the area, as you can see from that green dash line, is a pedestrian safety risk segment by the MPO from 2017 to 2021. So as you can see that there is a need for safety improvements at this intersection. There's a high amount of angle type crashes. About 70% of the 54 crashes are angle type crashes. Just not clicking here. Okay. So for the scope, we're going to do roadway rehabilitation with full depth construction. The anticipated intersection design will include a traffic signal at the intersection to replace the flashing overhead beacon and stop signs. We're anticipating 11-foot travel lanes with 5-foot bicycle lanes separated with a 2-foot buffer. We are also going to be looking at potentially changing the 2-directional traffic on Floral Street and creating a one-way away from Winter Street. So you don't have those vehicles coming from Floral Street onto Winter in that area where it's very close to School Street, because that does provide some confusion. There'll be 5.5-foot sidewalks on both sides of each street, and there will definitely be utility relocations. We have some utility poles very close to the roadway. And that is all I have. So happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Will, you have your hand up?
Sure. Is speed an issue here?
So, speed, yes, the speeds are, the 85th percentile speed is higher than the posted speeds. Yes.
And if I can ask a follow-up, how do you mitigate that?
Speed? Well, I will say that according to the police officer, they don't think that speed plays a role in the crashes, but it is still a safety concern. I think the signal will help because part of what's going on today is the people on Winter Street don't necessarily know or see School Street, and the sight distance is very challenging exiting School Street. So you have people stopping at School Street. Let me bring up the visual here, which will help. So I'm not just talking about, okay. So, I don't know if you can see my cursor here. Can you see my cursor on there or no? Well, either way, you see Winter Street here. So there's people traveling on Winter Street. They have an overhead beacon with a flashing yellow beacon, and they drive around there, along there, and they're not really braking. So we're gonna try. We tried to, or the city tried to put up signs in advance, saying intersection ahead. But those beacons are pretty challenging to see because they are pretty outdated. So there are advanced signs, but that's just not enough. So the city has done things to try to improve that. But once we put that signal in, you're going to be able to see those a lot clearer. We still may have advanced signing to help, but I think those signals are going to really help those Winter Street vehicles see that, there's a signal there, you have to stop or you can go. And then School Street won't try to be the people coming towards Winter Street on School Street. They'll also know when to stop and when to go, and sight distance will be improved with utility relocations there also. So I think a combination of those two things will really help vehicles to slow down when approaching that intersection.
And to add to Jackie's point, there's a stop sign at the end of Winter Street, and then there's the intersection with Long Meadow and Dean, and that's primarily it. So putting something kind of in between, and we did just pave the road and do new sidewalks. So unfortunately, that kind of seems to trigger people driving faster on a better road. The hope is that it'll provide some median in between these two intersections to slow people down.
Yeah, and I will add that we are also narrowing the lanes as part of this. So we're going to have those 11-foot travel lanes versus the 12 and 13 feet that are there today. And then, we'll have those buffer bike lanes also to calm the traffic.
Thank you. Will, did you have any more follow-up or does that answer? Good, okay.
Appreciate it. No, I'm all set. Thank you.
Alrighty. John?
Hi, everyone. Yeah, I think my question might be maybe more for Catherine. Looking at the crash data for that during the RSA, a lot of the crashes, the vast majority were, people heading north on School Street. and then people sort of heading westbound on West Winter Street and sort of having that angle crash. Has the city considered putting in a stop sign on Winter Street there, or making it a four-way stop, at all prior to, obviously a signal would work, but I guess the question that I have would just be whether stop control might make sense here.
Yeah, we actually just met about this kind of within last month, gearing up partly for this presentation, but also because we've been assessing feedback that we've gotten recently from Mass DOT over the traffic warrants. And that is something that we're exploring, that if, I think ideally because of the, complicated layout with floral and school winter, we wanted to go for the signal. But if we don't necessarily have good reception from Mass DOT for that, we absolutely are interested in pursuing the four-way stop. We just did, obviously four-way stops in other intersections where we've had a lot more crashes. And, this intersection, I know we spoke to, I think the reports were from 2019 to 2021. There's been probably a handful at least in the last year in this area of crashes. So that was kind of what brought this project forward, is it was a voiced challenging intersection years past, and it just continues to need remediation. And so, not to be long-winded, but yes, if the signal isn't going to move forward, we're looking at taking more immediate action and implementing a four-way stop.
Wonderful. Yeah, thank you for that, Catherine. I appreciate that. And the final thing I'll just note on this is that that Winter Street corridor is considered a high potential for everyday biking on MassDOT's bicycle plan. So typically that requires, either a shared use path or a bicycle lane with a buffer. In this case, it looks like, the plan is the bicycle lane with a buffer. And, it's just from sort of anecdotal looking around, there's definitely a lot of folks that still ride on the sidewalks, even when bicycle lanes are provided. So, as if that's helpful at all in your, process, I would consider potentially a shared use path along that corridor towards Taunton High School might be a better option, but that's all I'll say for now. Thank you.
Thank you. And we are kind of exploring, again, separate from the traffic, the signal installation, where MassDOT's currently doing the Dean Street project, and there is going to be, from my understanding, some bicycle lanes, not for an extended amount of time, but or extended distance on Long Meadow. We are trying to kind of consider this project and a wholehearted approach, and where there are commuters and pedestrians and bikers that go to the high school, that go to Parker Middle, incorporating and addressing some of their needs and making it safer.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have any other questions about the two presentations we just heard? Okay, hearing and seeing none. Thank you both for the presentations. We can move to item number 8, status update from MassDOT District 5 on projects programmed in the FFY 2026 to 2032.
Hi, everyone. Barbara LaChance from MassDOT District 5. Give you some updates on some of the projects we have. First one is Wareham, carver improvements on Route 6 at Swiss Beach Road. Currently, this project is at PS&E stage. The PS&E review was completed in June of this year, and I believe they're working through comments on that right now. Next, we have the Dartmouth project, carver improvements on Route 6 from Fonts Corner Road to Hathaway Road. This project is currently at 75%. And according to the latest schedule we have, the 100% design is anticipated the end of this year. Next, we have Dighton Bridge replacement, Pleasant Street over Muddy Cove. This project is currently at 75%. The 75% design was received, the end of October, and is currently under review. Then we have the Rainham Taunton Bridge replacement, South Street east over the Taunton River. And that also is currently at 75s. 75s came in the end of October and are also under review right now. Let's see, next we have Norton, intersection improvements at West Main Street, which is 123 at North Worcester Street and South Worcester Street. This project is currently at PS&E, and we just completed a review for that at sometime in August on PS&E Revision 2. Westport, intersection improvements at 177 Roberts Road and Tipper Road. Currently, we have the 75% Revision 1 review completed the beginning of October. And we haven't had a comment resolution meeting for this yet, but I know that's coming soon. Also, we need a new schedule on this project. If we could get a new schedule, that would be great. Mansfield, Chauncey Street, 106 improvements, which is phase 2. This is currently pre-25. We did receive a pre-25% design submission the beginning of October, and we just completed the review for that the beginning of November 3rd. Plainville, this is reconstruction of South Street, which is 1A from Charlene Lane to Everett Street and related work. Let's see, this one here is, we are waiting for revision 2 design submittal for this one. I know there's been some ups and downs with the town working on development in this area. So I believe the anticipated submission date is November 21st for this, to get the revision 2 in for the 25s. Let's see. Next one we have is Attleboro corridor improvements on 123 from Lathrop Road to Thatcher Street. Currently, we just finished a revised utility plan review for this, the beginning of October. We do need a new schedule for this one also. And I'm not sure if they're working towards setting up a design public hearing date for this too. Middleborough intersection improvements on 28 at Merchants Way and Williams Place. This is currently at pre-25. We do have a pre-25 over-the-shoulder meeting scheduled for the 17th of this month. And we also received some like documentation to review prior to that meeting, which came in on October 28th. So moving forward with that project. And last few here, Wareham, shared use path adjacent to Narrows and Minot. Again, I think Alan already spoke to this earlier. We just completed a 25% revision 2 on this project at the end of October. We could use a new schedule for that one also. Dartmouth, corridor improvements on Dartmouth Street and Prospect Street is currently at 25%. We haven't seen any recent activity on this. Really like to probably set up a meeting with the town to discuss that. Dartmouth Crossroad corridor improvements. And this one here is at 25s. And I believe we're waiting for 75% submission, but I'm not sure if we've had a DPH on this one yet. I think they might be scheduling, looking to schedule a design public hearing for this project also, before we move ahead with the 75s. New Bedford, corridor improvements on County Street from Union to Kempton. We completed a scoping checklist on this project in August of this year. That's it for project updates. But I also wanted to remind everybody that PRC was originally intended to be in, they were going to move it out from December to January, and then they ended up pushing it back to December again. So we do have a deadline, which is soon. It's actually Monday for you guys to submit projects to me so I can get them in, because my deadline is Friday the 21st. I know it's a short time frame. We do have 3 meetings prior to PSC. So PSC date is the 17th, and we have a project kickoff, like a pre-PSC project kickoff, that's December 2nd, and we have pre-PSC, which is the 11th, and then PSC on the 17th. So any projects that you do want to submit for this round, I know it's very, very short notice. Please submit them like as soon as you can. Like I said, my hard deadline to have everything reviewed and approved up to headquarters is next Friday, the 21st. So that's it for my updates, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Barbara. Alan, do you have a question or comment?
Yeah, Barbara, on the Swiss Beach project, Damien Pantry is right at that intersection on Route 20, on Route 6, and also on Swiss Beach Road. With the current situation, you know, with the food pantries, etc., the volume has increased tremendously. When that project starts, whatever it does, it's going to impact that facility, because the entrance and exits are right on that whole section. So I would appreciate if we get an update of when we're going to actually start that, so they can figure out how they're going to make it all work.
Okay,
Appreciate it.
thank you, Alan.
Barbara, real quick, for those that can't make this deadline and are initiating projects, can you just let us know what the next timeline looks like to get projects in?
Yeah, let me see. I'm not sure if they sent us anything yet. It usually gets bumped out to May because we have readiness days and all that in between. I don't have anything. Let me see. Sorry, I gotta take the glasses off to see far away. Bear with me 1 minute. Oh, I'm sorry. So they do have one scheduled. They have one scheduled for April. So April 16th would be the next meeting. So it's not too far away, which is good.
So when do they need to get projects into you for review, Barbara? A couple of weeks before?
Usually it's a month before now, Lisa, because they've added all these additional meetings now. You know, we do a kickoff meeting where we just introduce the projects, and we do another meeting where we do pre-PSC, where we go through like each element, like environmental right of way, all that kind of, and then we do PRC. So it used to be we do pre-PSC like the week before and then PSC. So you could basically submit projects right up until PSC. But now things are done so differently. So it's probably a month before.
So
A good month.
in March, if any communities are initiating projects, get them in before then.
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect, thank you.
And even now, like, I mean, I would say that if people would like to submit, I mean, I can, like, if they want to get them in now for this round, I mean, that's fine, as long as they, you know, I know it's a short time frame, but if you submit even after my deadline, we'll make sure that they definitely get ready to go through, for the next round. You'll be ahead of the game for the next round. So whenever you want to submit, you know, it's fine. Hi,
Thank you,
Tim.
Barb.
Oh, you're muted, Tim.
No, we just couldn't hear him.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, we can't hear you, Tim. Maybe type in the chat.
Uh-oh. Something.
Okay, so Crossroads was held in December. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Thank you, Tim. Is there some way you could get us a new schedule for that one? Because we don't have any submission dates are due in. I mean, the last schedule that we had showed them, I believe, coming back in April. Very good, Tim. Thank you so much.
Does anyone else have any other questions? Tim, you still have your hand up? Are you okay? Still more questions? Okay, perfect. Just making sure. Alrighty, thank you, Barbara. So we can move to item number 9, other business, and I believe Lisa has something to share.
Great, thank you so much. So just have a couple of announcements. Grant Central Unpaved Roads Community Culvert Grant announcement. There is a press release that went out, and we will be providing you with all these links after the meeting, so no need to worry about trying to jot these down. Mass DOT has posted their public participation plan. You can find that online. There is also a speed management guidance on Massachusetts roadway webinar that is going to be held on December 4th at 2 p.m. if you're interested in attending that. And then our public participation plan and language access plan, as you know, is out for public comment. We will be hosting a public meeting on November 18th at 4 p.m. Both of these documents will be looking for endorsement at the MPO meeting in December. So we do encourage everyone to go and review that document and provide feedback. Also, there is a design public hearing for corridor improvements in the community of Mattapoisett. And that is gonna take place on December 4th at 6:30 PM. So we will get all these announcements, out to you after this meeting.
Thank you, Lisa. Does anyone have any questions on that? Okay, hearing and seeing none. Date and time for next meeting. So if nobody has any objections, we would like to hold the meeting as only hybrid for the next few months while we're in the winter time. Is everyone okay with that?
Virtual.
Fully.
I'm sorry, that's what I meant, virtual. I apologize. So only on Zoom, as long as nobody has any issues or comments on that. Okay, awesome. So the date and time for next meeting would be December 10th at 2 p.m. on Zoom. Okay, if there's nothing else then, I would entertain a motion to adjourn at 2:52 p.m.
So made, Alan.
There a second?
Seconded.
Thank you. Have a good rest of the day, everybody.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks.
Thank you.